No matter how much mental gymnastics you try to do, the fact still remains that house availability is determined by one single metric: how many houses there are in a given region divided by how many people want to live in them. To find house prices, you simply use this same ratio, multiplying the number of people by how much each of them have available to invest on average. Lots of houses and few people to live in them, house availability goes up. Lots of people and few houses to live in, house availability goes down. If low house availability is combined with lots of available money, prices skyrocket. If high house availability is combined with a scarce quantity of money, prices plummet. So let's analyze the factors that influence this equation. First off, what could be dragging house supply down? There are three things. First is the amount of public land used for parks and other functions. No matter how nice parks are, people can't live in them, and the more parks, the less land there is for houses to be built. It is amazing to live in green cities like Melbourne, Copenhagen, or London, but all of those public spaces come at a cost. Second is how many people live in the same unit of housing. Apartments are more efficient than houses. The bigger the building, the higher the efficiency. Lastly, there is the cost and complexity of building new houses. The more risky and complex it is, the less houses will be built, jacking house availability down and prices up. So, why is every major city in the Western world facing a house availability problem? First, because parks and recreation have been deemed more important for quality of life. Math doesn't lie, and it definitely doesn't care about quality of life. More parks equals less space to live in. Second, because Westerners, especially Australians, Canadians, and Americans, love single family homes, as lovely and cozy as they are, they're an inefficient way of housing. This is a downward spiral. The more parks and single family houses that an area has, the more people want to live there, and the lower house availability becomes, jacking prices to the moon. So, is there no way around this problem? Are Western cities bound to fail due to their own success? Will it be necessary to kill immigration, recreation, and the dream of single family living to bring house prices down? I believe not, because there is another factor we're not considering. The third one: regulation. Zoning laws, building codes, and regulatory burdens are crushing the home building capacity of both families and businesses. As you can see, states that build more houses are the same that have lower house prices. Those places manage to build more by eliminating zoning laws, simplifying regulations, and letting people and companies do their job. This is the only way housing can go back to sustainable levels. Wealthy places with good public structure and large, comfortable housing will always be more expensive, but they don't have to be the way they are now. A good chunk of our problems are solved by simply letting people build, with less requisites and less bureaucracy. If there is a way to start handling the problem, this is it. Before I go, I have to mention two other policies that are proposed to deal with this crisis: rent control and limits on investment. The problem is neither of them work. Rent control kills incentives for new homes to be built, makes landlords less willing to rent out their properties, and protects people with a current lease at the expense of people who are still looking for a place to live. This is exactly what happens in New York, in Berlin, and in other cities that have implemented it. As for banning investments in real estate, that idea is even worse. The less money there is available for real estate companies to build, the less they will build. The market needs investors to pay upfront for house building costs and then rent those units out to short term renters and people not willing or not ready to have their own home. If all homes had to be bought by homeowners, by definition, there would be no homes available to rent. Real estate investment is what keeps the market liquid and incentives for construction high. Take it away, and the whole housing market comes crumbling down. The more real estate investors there are, the more homes will be available for rent, and the lower rent will tend to be.